You might just be on this Benedetta. Good call right there. And, you know, this is the second carry that we're seeing, the very first one being picked up by the side of mpl-sg. Now, the problem the other time is that the lack of tank, and of course, they pay the price, but it does force the Benedetta to play a little bit more defensively as well. Don't you guys think?
I would like to agree with that. However, there are it depends on certain conditions. Are they going to be playing on the top side of the map? Are they going to play on the bottom side of the map? Is Benedetta going to go with the opener where she cuts the midway first before rotating back up? There's a lot of different openings that Benedetta can do, which I think is what makes her so versatile and what makes everybody kind of want to first pick her in these situations.
Rrq Hoshi, they have their draft locked. Omega Esports, they picked the Roger for their last pick. In terms of the drafting, how are you guys taking this? Let's start with you, Gideon.
I'm thinking, I'm leaning more a little bit towards Rrq because again, their composition is a lot easier to pull off. However, Omega, a lot of mechanical work going to be put into it. So that's a possibility to actually mess up. So that's why I'm leaning more towards the easier comp to pull off.
Leo?
I will go the other way. This is a fork road, and I take the Omega Esports route because their lineup looks very 2021. It looks very M2, right? It covers all the bases. You know exactly who is going, and it makes sense to me. So I'm saying Omega.
Yeah, and I honestly can't choose one, but if I have to pick, I'm also going with Omega side for the moment here, as I could definitely see that they have pretty much of a clear-cut way to just go in for certain picks, and for the carry to be activated, it does take a little while. We talked about the clearance speed, and well, I want to see it come online, but how soon can it come online?
So we will head on to the Celestial Palace, and gentlemen, please take the floor.
Here we go. Rrq Hoshi versus Omega Esports. Starting it off, let's figure out.
Can you land those abyssal arrows? Can you be aggressive early on? And I think that might be, that's going to be really, really difficult here. But, you know, Psycho did actually take the, Psycho did take the Benedetta first, so he clears out that mid wave as soon as possible, allowing Ling to kind of rotate down to get that blue. And while the rest of the team is just going to make sure, hey, I'm going to push those waves as soon as possible.
Yeah, we do see a lot of pressure going on towards the 1-1 side, and I think it's still pretty much decent that we see some clear rotations on the 2-2-1 setup coming from the side of Omega Esports. So this will be self-sustaining for the moment, and well, what's to say that Ling...
In years past, you have the 1-1, which is the current flavor of the month. Gideon, I gotta ask you, man, when it comes to the 15-20 minutes, if it does get to that point, if we go the distance, who has better scaling?
I think in these situations, people who have better scaling would definitely lean a little bit more. Actually, it's an overall thing, but hold on, let's check out. Okay, no fights going on. Okay, so when I talk about scaling, we're talking about the two main heroes that scale on either side, but you also have to kind of look at the builds that everybody else goes through. I do think Rrq Hoshi scales better into the game because they have more relevant heroes in comparison to Omega, where some of them are just going to fall off completely.
Yeah. And again, we were talking about like Selena. Whenever Selena is bad, she's so bad. But on the other side,
good, though.
Yeah, Eudora though, she has a stun and it's point and click. So yeah, it's just much better. Totally understand. Right now, there's a fight that's waiting to break out, both top and in mid. I wonder, they're gonna catch one. That's going to be. That's going to be flicker out. Heath burning it already 2 minutes in, and the first turtle is going to be started in by Psycho.
Such a great reaction coming from the side of Heath, as he has already read the situation well enough. And keep in mind that there's also going to be that link. If he sets up a perfect Tempest onto some of these team fights, it could be a pretty huge one out there. And when we talk about these two sides, of course, it's definitely going to be hard to tell, like, okay, which one gets activated first when we talk about the marksman. Because honestly, the carry is going to take a little bit of time before getting things like the Golden Staff or the Demon Hunter Sword or stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, like back to what was being mentioned by Gideon, it's a little bit more easier to execute compared to Omega.
Yeah, and especially at the highest levels, right? You want to minimize your possibilities of making that mistake, and the more that you can minimize it, the higher chance of more consistency you can receive. Oh, here it comes.
That's going to be 4 members from Rrq Hoshi coming in. And they're so aggressive. Lemon gets taken down first. Vladimir drawn by Hajizi, plus the turtle. Ooh. And that's going to be some revenge from Albert, taking out Mr. Fundamental himself. That's going to be 2 going over to Rrq Hoshi, taking down Kenji. And are they done? The answer is yes. Omega Esports don't want more of this.
All I gotta say is, Youch. Big ouch. I mean, Omega, they saw two of their guys go down so fast. Hajisi is like, nah, get me out of here. I don't want any of that no more.
Yeah, and R7 arrived to the scene and he's like, okay, Big Dragon coming through, and you know the case is pretty much close right there. So 2-1 at the very moment. Honestly, the small little lead that they are getting from the side of Rrq Hoshi can still be contested right here in this sort of way, but Unstoppable Force has already been used up.
Ooh, defensive Electo final blow right there by Psycho, saving himself. And yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from Omega Esports here. They're building up their confidence. They did lose that big team fight inside the Turtle Pit earlier. They are maintaining this small gap to Rrq Hoshi, about 200, 300 gold. But right now, we're looking to how Rrq Hoshi can kind of make that gap a little bigger. What big move will they do next? Or will they just let Omega Esports go in and make them pay with a counter attack?
I think if I was in Omega's position, I'm starting to look for picks around buff timings, which is going to be like you're targeting Ling to make sure, hey, if Ling is on the purple buff, I want to look to try and punish him as he's trying to clear that area of the jungle. And if not, he's not there, let's rotate down to bottom side until they get caught out.
Speaking of getting caught out here, Hajizi has just arrived, but instant response coming from Lemon just to flicker away.
I think both of these teams kind of have this like interesting side quest of, yeah, besides these big neutral objectives, we also want to take down these side lane marksmen. And now Heath takes quite the blow, but he's saying, sir, can I have some more? He wants to go for another fight because he does have his ult on. And oh, no! That's going to be Psycho barely getting away! Oh, and the delay damage from the trap and the slow taken in. Oh, Yelly Haze just catches him off.
You know,
Yeah.
talk about really unlucky there, because he does use the final blow to try and negate the damage, but unfortunately it's just like literally 0.2 seconds off from the delayed damage, but the fight is already beginning. Heath is going to make the run for it.
And R7 here in half dragon form, able to push people back because he still has some Sha energy. Oh, it resets. Curtizi here putting a beat on him, and they are going for what I think is the second turtle of the game. It's taking quite a while, and Hajizi, he says the coast is clear, but for how much longer?
Well, I believe that it's pretty much clear for him for the taking at the moment if we look at it, but they are focusing on towards Kenji. Instead, they do get the turtle, but a 2v1 commencing down towards the bottom side doesn't result too much, but here comes the big one.
Oh no, Vin here trying to save his life, and from behind, in comes Hajizi. The machine is online, and so far they have gone to building enough confidence to mess with Albert, but some breathing room for the King of Kings here, their jungler. He's able to get his purple at least.
Yeah, he's got the purple. He immediately goes in for a little wander as well. Now, going for the invasion, he's still going to be chased up, so... You know, Ling doing Ling things, he could easily move around.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, we've got to catch on it. Oh, yeah, it's Ling. Oh, that's so much fun. He just jumps away and makes a full rotation down towards our top or bottom side, and we can't catch up. Fun stuff. But I think Rrq at this point in time, as long as they kind of just maintain the goal differential to about 2 to 3K, it's going to be relatively fine. Omega won't be able to kind of force situations on top of Rrq Hoshi unless they get a catch.
Yeah, here you can see already, right? We're about 7 minutes into this game. How disciplined and how good these two teams are.
Oh.
Hold up! That's going to be some burst damage laid down onto Vin, but he doesn't go down without a fight. Yelly Haze destroyed. Tempest of Blades here, chasing him down. That's Albert looking for one. Psycho finds Hajizi. That's going to be a shutdown onto the Roger, and they are sitting neck and neck, 4-4. But all this time, Omega Esports was just setting up a push.
Oh, there's more. Ruby has already arrived, and they're already chasing right in. Psycho caught in between, but they are trying to make an escape out of that.
Oh, R7 waiting in the bushes. Oh, using the tail of the dragon. They're trying to make Kenji pay. He does get himself a Cyclone Eye, but off camera, that's going to be Lemon taken down. It's a marksman and marksman fight, and that's Curtizi winning down bottom.
Definitely we're going to be having to look towards itemizations as well, because at this point it's getting a lot more interesting. So Gideon, just looking at things, we've already got some big stuff coming in the way.
Yeah, honestly, we're looking at Lemon, who only just has his endless battle here, but we're looking over at Cardizi. He's already got the Demon Hunter sword on top of the boots, on top of that corrosive sight, so he's going to be pretty relevant into this game. He might not be doing the most amount of damage, but at the very least, he's slowing them down for the rest of his team to kind of catch up and take out.
And looking at Hajizi, he is, I guess, halfway through his endless battle as they go for this turtle, the very last in the game. Ooh. Looking for it. There you go. They take the turtle, and just like that, it's a Mexican standoff. It's just who's going to pull the trigger first, who's going to jump in with their ults and start it strong. And I think in this situation, without R7, Omega Esports has the range advantage, especially with the reach that the Abyssal Arrow has.
Yeah, and he's all the way on the other side of the map, and they've already understand that. Oh, flicker right in!
Ejector onto one. That's going to be Vin blasted down by 4 members of Omega Esports.
That was huge. Absolutely huge.
It's just a mistake on Vin's side. He threw out the stun and realized, oh, I got nothing left. I already flickered out of the way. This doesn't mean anything. And Heath just took full advantage, flickering forward an unstoppable force. But Curtsy now going to initiate a huge fight, and that's going to be a double pickoff for Omega just to get that return kill. Look at that, 5-8, and it's only a 2K difference.
It's so clinical, these two teams, the way they play. I mean, this cliche has been mentioned. I'm pretty sure I'm beating a dead horse, but it's so chess-like, right? I'll give up my pawn, you can have a rook, but then after that I'll take a bishop. That's what this 5-8 is looking like, especially with this, you know, relatively small 3K lead.
Indeed, but for the Rrq Hoshi side, they're slowly losing pieces after pieces on an unequal term. And speaking of which, they're going to be taking this buff if they don't do anything about it.
Ooh, that's going to be Psycho coming in between 4 members. He wants it. Kenji trying to look for a good hook, and he finds it. In comes Hajizi, but that's going to be a stun. Psycho pays the price. R7 says, get out of our jungle. We don't want y'all here. But Hajizi wants more. Does he have the support? Yes, he does. Oh, they're waiting. They're waiting. They say we're calling it tough.
Nah, it's not worth it at this point because, again, their main target here is Curtizi. As long as he has his ult, it's just not worth going for anybody else unless it's maybe a Yelly Haze, but Yelly Haze is barely in the fight, or even Kenji, but even Kenji has his ult still up.
That's right, and with that being said, we're looking at Omega Esports side. Now that they are so much more up ahead after a couple of all these sort of things, they're starting to feel a lot more confident about taking every single thing that they have inside the jungle. All they can do is just wait for the right moment to strike in. We do have the Lord up available, but over here, a little bit of a slight 1v1 between Albert as well as Kenji.
Oh, it's just the battle of swords and sights, and here comes Lemon, Tempest of Blades. Barely misses. Oh, he's got some dashes here. He's trying to grab him. Oh, there you go. Full range stun here by Yelly Haze. Gonna be using the dashes, trying to get out of there. Not enough to save Lemon. That's 1 for free. Oh, this is while they were going for the Lord. Psycho goes down. Hajizi takes him.
R7.
Here comes R7.
What?
Oh, wow! A dragon helps the Lord get stolen by R7. That's going to be R7 surviving. Oh, I think it's worth it already. Crossbow of Tang. 4 members down. Traded off for the Lord. Oh.
No way. No absolute way. Even though they do get the Lord, just look at the Ruby right down below. Like, this Lord doesn't mean a thing at all after getting snatched away, but at least it buys some time for side of Rrq Hoshi.
I mean, they're up by 5 towers at this point. Rrq Hoshi has not been able to kind of break through. Omega will be stopping that Lord right in its tracks. And I mean, if they had more of a wave onto mid and top side, they might have been able to get both inhibitors at the same time. And I think Rrq Hoshi, this game is slowly slipping out of their hands.
I hate to say it, but stealing that Lord at that very moment is the equivalent of using a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It held them back for what, 30 seconds tops? And they're still maintaining map pressure.
Yeah, and of course, with that, they only gain maybe very slight edges out of that by just putting their bodies at where all these sort of bullets are coming through, and they just have to do something just to have that knee-jerk response. And while at it, I guess they just have to wait for another sort of opening at this moment, which is not going to come by, not until 20 minutes or so.
Speaking of 20 minutes, Gideon seems to know what timers are like. And Gideon, what's your feel, man, right now before this fight happens? Oh, it actually has started. Too late. Curtizi gets blasted by Vin.
Not over.
They're looking for some revenge here. Vindication. That's what Omega Esports is looking for. They take out Yelly Haze. R7 is a man on a mission. They're going to blast this turret and push Omega Esports back in. Now, that timer, man, 13 minutes in. How long until we see Lemon pop off?
I mean, honestly, let's double check the items so I have a better idea of what where is he with that. Lemon is currently at 6,000 gold. He's got 2 items, both pretty defensive. He doesn't even have the golden staff yet. I think at this point of time, he needs to get the golden staff to have that major kick of damage. So he'll probably get that at the 42,000 gold mark. So my guess is going to be the 16 or I'll give him a bit of credit if he doesn't die and works perfectly. 1530.
Ooh, very close. And that's Kenji flickering in. Enough to save him. Tempest of Blades. Oh, no. Albert don't want none of this. And Hajizi putting a beat on him. There's the unstoppable force from behind. Can they juggle the aggression from underneath the turret? Kenji's still alive.
No.
Lemon about to get destroyed. Hajizi gets him. Heath puts the nail in the coffin. It's a trade so far. Hajizi for Lemon. The fight continues. Kenji's looking low. That's a blast onto Heath. Vin takes him down. This turret still stands. And only RRQ can win fights that way. Going back and forth, back and forth.
And they are just forcing fights by hook or by crook. There's no other way to go about it. They don't care if they lose one member as long as they get more in return.
I'm not gonna lie, Vin's is starting to become a bit of a problem for Omega in this point. And I think that's where the executional part of it is starting to kick in, because as you can see, Yelly Haze, he's not landing as many abyssal arrows, and even if he does, he's probably not going to be able to capitalize on it in comparison to Vin, who just goes in, full combos you, walks away and says, R7, go get him, boy.
Yeah, and we've already seen purchases like the Blade of the Hepta Seas coming in as well, so very much interesting as we hit towards the 15-minute mark. You can see that we are having pretty much an equal level terms after so many fights. Rrq Hoshi, not in the number of kills, but the goal has already been equal.
Oh, yeah. Barely 1,000 now. Barely 1,000. Rrq Hoshi, the King of Kings, have figured out this strategy. And just like that, I think Gideon is on the mark pretty much. About, what, 3 minutes away since he did say. And right now,
Albert.
Omega Esports isn't as confident with the Lord this time around.
Oh yeah, definitely not. I mean, honestly, I was off by a full 30 seconds there. Lemon just got his Winds of Nature, and that's going to be a huge, huge buy, because that means Cartesian as well as Kenji can't take full advantage of him.
Things are looking relatively difficult at the very moment. While a couple of all these abyssal arrows being sent out, Demon Hunter Sword being purchased by Hajizi, so a little bit more spike coming in for the Roger, which is definitely great news for Omega at this point in time.
Yeah.
You see a little bit of split push being done by Rrq Hoshi,
Oh, yeah.
and they're still not letting their eyes off as Omega Esports still eyeing on towards the Lord.
Yep, that's the advantage that Albert has here as the Ling. He's able to push these lanes, cut him where he needs to without any punish, actually, because of Finch Poison. That's exactly what he's doing. But it looks like Omega knows he's up there. Omega wants to make the most of the situation and is trying to force a fight with RRQ. What they're trying to do is catch one off at least, and that's a good -1. A -1 goes miles in situations like this.
This is a situation that they are looking for, making sure that somebody takes good care of the side lanes, and as many of these Omega Esports members goes there, they will try to find a setup over on towards the Lord side.
Oh, wait, there's a fight. Wait, is there not a fight? No. Oh, no, they backed away. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, they catch one. That's full stuns onto Vin.
Oh. Honestly, at this point in time, it's a game of cat and mouse. Whoever gets picked off first is going to essentially win or lose the fight. But I have to point out here, it's 9-14. It's they're 3 towers ahead. They're literally 5 kills ahead as well. And it is 49.2k to 49.8k. Where is the disparity here? There is almost no disparity at all, even though in every single numbers and 2 turtles on top of all of those stats, how is Omega not ahead? RRQ has just been really proficient in their way of farming.
If I may build on that, it's a game of cat and mouse where neither is sure which they are, right? It's also a blind game of cat and mouse, and it's very important to check your bushes right now. And the one person or one team who has the advantage when it comes to the range and the vision is Omega Esports. Now Heath catches Psycho. Oh, they catch Kenji off guard in the Omega Esports side of the jungle towards the purple. That's a huge -1 for Omega. I wonder how Omega's gonna just recover from here.
That's right, a big opening that they have managed to find just by having the Benedetta pulling all the attention, and now they fixate their attention on towards Lord. Instead, they want Omega to commit. Without that Ruby, things are definitely going to look a little bit haywire in this sort of fight.
Sideways, if you ask me, sideways for Omega Esports. This time, that's a huge chunk of damage, of lifesteal, and of crowd control. And I think what Omega Esports trying to do is reset.
I think at this point, it's about finding the opportunity to get the angle, because right now, look at that bottom wave. It's pushing in naturally. As long as Rrq just kind of chill and just wait, somebody is going to have to deal with that slowly building up wave. And Rrq, they don't mind doing it because they are scaling towards the late game. And Omega, they've run out of time at this point, and they have to solely believe in their own mechanics to actually win them out in these bigger fights.
That's right, and now we're hitting 18-30. With most of the members already hitting level 15, and I guess this is where it's all about completing your items at this point in time.
At M2, or at least, right? And even the playoffs specifically, when you reach the 18-20 minute mark, that's basically a marathon. Like, this is longer than usual already, and right now with Kenji back on the map, they have eyes on Albert since he is pushing down bottom. I think Omega Esports is just going to jump the gun. They're just going to go for it, saying, just start it up, start it up. Just hope that Vin isn't there and that Albert isn't ready with the retribution.
Oh, this is going to be big news here. Ruby is being pretty occupied, but they understand once again, they're going to go in for another reset, but Heath, though, playing with fire.
Oh, he got caught out. That's at least one ultimate from Vin. They have the timer. They have to make sure that inside, deep inside, they know what it looks like for the opponent, what kind of firepower they're packing. And wow, again, they're back to the game of how low can you get Lord before the opponent actually jumps in, bites.
Yeah, and Lemon, although he's 60%, easily could just find his way to live steal Malefic Roar on the hands of Cortese. And yeah, very much interesting.
Just keep your eyes like, while this, you know, boomerang game of who can get the Lord lowest before resetting, just look on the opposite side of the map here, because you can see that Ling as well as Ruby are both trying to make sure those lanes are clean. And Rrq, simple macro here, just get a wave pushing on their side, because again, if Omega Esports walks out too far, you can punish. If one person goes over, you start the Lord. You put them between a rock and a hard place, and eventually somebody is gonna crack.
Yeah, and if you do look at the goal differentials, it honestly doesn't matter at this point in time, where most of the people have already completed all their items. And being up ahead means that they are shoving way harder towards the side of Omega.
Dude, check out that graph, man. Omega was just dominating the first half of the game, and then Rrq Hoshi just slowly catching up. If only Omega was able to close out that game. Man, they must be kicking themselves like, oh, if only we had that Lord and it didn't get stolen just now.
That's essentially the story of the past 5 minutes. The past 5 minutes have been Rrq Hoshi just applying pressure on Omega Esports, and some part of it, I believe, is just conditioning. Like, slowly but surely, Rrq Hoshi has been saying, all right, if you don't do anything about this, Albert's just going to push and penetrate your lane down bottom. And right now, again, back to the game of hot potato onto this Lord. It's a matter of allotting resources. How much are you willing to put on the line to be able to take this huge objective? Now, Psycho at half health, and now it's Lemon they send over. Oh, this is going to be a push.
Yeah, and that's my attention actually fixating on towards the lower side of the map, and with that, Rrq still wants to play this Dance of Death. How are we going in finally?
Oh, they're going in. This is no turning back. That's Heath getting blasted. He's still alive. R7 with the black Dragon form, Tempest Ablaze in here. That's going to be a knock-up on the Psycho. R7 being pushed back. That's going to be Vin taken down by Hajizi. Oh, it's looking grim. Heat destroyed from the back line by Psycho. That's going to be 2 for 1. Lemon destroyed by Hajizi. And now the Wolf, the Machine, is on the chase. Psycho, oh, he needs the Cyclone Eye. Oh, he's going to get it. But inside the orange buff pit, that's going to be the Hajizi run. Taken down one last 1 for 3. Is this enough space for the Lord?
This should be plenty of space for the Lord, actually, unless Albert makes a fat steal here, which I don't think he's going to do. In most situations, Lings are just going to cut the wave, but considering the wave still has a long way to go.
Oh, no, the burst is just too much. That's what, 4 members of Omega Esports? Oh man, Rrq Hoshi's very own R7 was a little too optimistic.
Yeah.
Absolutely dropped the ball right there. You can see Albert can only fly around just to see this Lord go in the hands of Omega Esports. And I'm pretty sure the Filipino fans here rejoice after that long dance. And it all started from sending Lemon right down below, and Omega Esports knows, okay, we can actually catch them out of position, and that's where that 3-for-1 trade didn't go anywhere as planned for Rrq.
I think Rrq at this point in time, it's just a game of cat and mouse because, again, there's nothing much they can really do about it in most of these situations if they put themselves too far out and they get caught out by Heath. And you know what? Speaking of Heath, in that last fight, he preemptively flickered forward thinking somebody would be further, deeper into the brush. Ends up they were standing right in front of him and he just blew his flicker for no reason. But here comes Luminous Lord.
Oh, but he got away with it anyways, right? Here we go now. Finally, the first inhibitor taken down, and it's going to be on the side of Rrq Hoshi. That's going to be quite a few ults spent by Rrq to take down Lord alongside that inhibitor up top as well. So it's a 2-for-none, relatively clean for Omega Esports. Impressive how they're able to just center and just gather themselves once more, especially after earlier how Rrq Hoshi was slowly turning the whole map blue.
Right, and now Psycho tries to cut off the way, but what a big thing!
That's going to be Hajizi running away. Immortality popped in here. Vin destroyed by Kurt the Hurt-TZ, and now Hajizi. That's going to be R7 taking him down. It's so far a 1-for-1, and right now Albert destroyed once more by the 1-1, and they're going in. That's a lot of damage coming in from Lemon. That's Heath. Mr. Fundamental destroyed, and right now that's another pull. Lemon survives. Oh, I think he's going to heal up because they're still ready. They're going for this half health on all members of Omega Esports. They may have been going in too deep, and I think the investment has already been spent. R7 destroyed. That's going to be 1. Oh, hey, Haze, that's going to be 2. They're trading back and forth. 2 members left.
Good plays coming in from Rrq Hoshi. Even though they had a bad situation, they just had to make sure that they understand who scales into this game. Okay, Albert dies. Who do we have to depend on? Lemon. If you have to throw your body in to buy some time, then throw your body. Just like what they're doing out now, it's going to be a 2v2 situation.
Oh, they trigger the crossbow tang, but Psycho gets away.
Oh no.
Full range. Oh, that's going to be a pull by Kenji. And that's Lemon. That's Lemon finally shut down. And that's 2 defenders, though. Vin is back in here, so that's some wave clear on the side of Rrq Hoshi.
Just look at it, 50 over seconds if you go down at this point of time. Rrq Hoshi, at the very least, still have 3 members up. So this is where Omega Esports can continue to apply the pressure. And more than about 2 minutes in towards the game, we'll see possibly the final Lord, but they might not even need it right now.
Left the final blow. Use to clear the way. Just buckle in. Just wait for Lemon to come in. And I don't know, man. Whatever you did with Vin for the first Lord, do that again.
But at this point in time, if you actually lose at least 3 members by just snatching the Lord away, yeah, maybe you might get away with, you know, that Lord just marching towards the enemy side and you have like a full send of Omega Esports army just at your base by that point in time. Yeah. So, Hurt-TZ having 1 final slot uncompleted, but hey, what's to say? I think he really packs a punch at this one time.
I think he packs a punch too. I think they all honestly pack a punch. And the real problem right now is that they can't seem to get onto the scaling heroes. Lemon just refuses to die. Albert, he buys so much time, especially when he jumps into the backline here, that Omega Esports can only deal with 1 problem at a time. And Kenji, he's going to be staying very close to Hrt-TZ more often than not, just to kind of protect him with the I'm Offended and making sure that he taunts the right people, just to buy that time to allow Hrt-TZ to at the very least have enough weakness procs just so they can use his ultimate in a clutch situation.
Yep, and we've seen earlier, a crossbow tang is not a confirmed kill. Not at all, because of how this Rome Benedetta is playing in right now. That's going to be a fight. I think they're picking. Oh, Vin gets caught out. Oh, he lets out the ult. That's going to be flame shot used already by Yelly Haze. And Hajizi destroyed by Lemon from the back line. Tempest Ablaze here by Albert. That's going to be trades left and right. Kenji down as well as Hajizi. 2 for 1. I think they are ripe for the Lord take.
Yeah, and we just saw the positioning of Lemon initially was a little bit questionable, but when he flickered to get that position, to get that first opening, it started to make sense where the rest of Rrq Hoshi will be able to penetrate through from a very awkwardly positioned Omega Esports.
Honestly, I'm surprised that Omega didn't just jump onto Lemon there. Like, he was free, and you can see that the Unstoppable Force was up there. They were just waiting out the winds of nature, but that's just like a second long. So it's kind of on Omega, who I think were in disbelief. Like, no way he's doing this. This is kind of troll, right?
Again, give carry, what, 1.2 seconds of free hits, especially with full lock items like this, you're in for a bad time. And right now, oh, Albert's stealing oranges now. This is going to be rough for Hajizi when he comes back.
And you can see Psycho really roams in towards the mid side as well. They're having two members right over the lower side of the map. And this Lord right here is the terminator of the entirety of this game, which honestly, Omega Esports hasn't been able to find a safe way to even get a pick in this sort of sense.
Yeah, no, it's because of, again, the vision that Omega Esports has is trumped by the mobility that Rrq Hoshi has right now, right? Like, again, Gideon mentioned the forward flicker by Heath. If he only knew that there was no one in the bush, I think Yelly Hayes hasn't warded that area yet. If he only knew that he was right in his face, he could have used that mobility to close the gap. But right now, oh, nice catch. That's going to be Lemon caught by the ejector, and he's going to get blasted down. Heath trying to run, save his life, and he survives. But look at Albert. Albert looking to just cut the waves. Oh, it's a silent Cold War between Kenji and Albert.
Both sides just not letting up here, but at the end of the day, who wins out in these later stages? I mean, Yelly Hayes, he's going to take some damage. Psycho is just going to chase him down, and nope, the rest of the team back off, and they could, I mean, I don't think Lemon wants to fight without his ult here, so Psycho has got to be real careful.
Psycho right in between all these members of Omega Esports, not looking all too great. As much as he has immortality, he can buy only a few seconds in towards this match, but he's trying his best to make it out alive. Lemon, as much as he's nearby, he's still getting out of this. I take my words back.
Psycho things! Madman!
He's getting away with too much here, and I think, you know, Omega and Rrq Hoshi, like, it's in Omega's hands to look for this engagement here, and Rrq, as you can tell, clearly will not initiate anything unless they can guarantee that pick. And at this point, Vin, he's a little too scared to walk forward, because the moment he does, Heath is going to unstoppable force ejector him back in towards the enemy team, and there's really not a lot of counterplay to that other than hope that he doesn't fly back too far, or the rest of Omega can't catch up after he flickers.
Gentlemen, we are already hitting 30 minutes of play, and it's pretty much on even grounds at the very moment. Everyone's just buying forces at
Which is
time.
impressive, because Rrq Hoshi, they have no more turrets, and they're still this aggressive.
Yeah, and as much as this turret stands from the side of Omega Esports, it's currently untouchable.
Yeah, so it's more of, again, a standstill right now. Headlock, and hold up, Rrq Hoshi. That's going to be our 7. Black Dragon form catches Yelly Hayes off. Lemon finishes him off. That's already a -1. And looking at the map in general, Omega Esports not going to find an easy pickoff just like that. There's no Vindication anywhere soon. Not even Psycho. Again, we know Psycho runs away like this. This is what he does.
Yeah, he just gets away with everything on the line, just pulling every aggro that he can possibly get. And this constant split push will not stop at all, but Lemon, he could possibly solo this if Omega does not pay attention.
I mean, Omega definitely knows that this is going on. However, they have to send members to the other side of the map, and Albert, he's able to control this, and he's going in for the full engagement.
Oh, there's going to be Heath. His immortality pops inside. He has a few shields to buy time. Oh, Kurtizi, just in time. Crossbow tank, and they burst him. That's Heath taken down. R7. Where is R7? That's going to be Kurtizi. Oh, Hajizi as well. They're running away. Oh, can Psycho finish him off? Lemon from behind. Kenji gets him. That's Psycho taking down Kurtizi. 1-1 off the table right now. Kenji flickers in, saves himself just in time, and now there's Hajizi. There's two chances at a steal here. Hajizi and Kenji. I don't know. Yelly Hayes needs to start clearing waves. And yo, this might be Rrq's. I feel like Rrq is just more confident this time around.
Like it should be. However, Selena and those Abyssal Arrows could be the game changer. Vin just waiting for the catch. He gets caught out himself.
Oh, Vin is still alive because they are going to burst down Yelly Hayes. And Yelly Hayes is still in this. Vin gets destroyed. Hajizi gets him from behind. The delayed damage gets down Yelly Hayes, and there's still 4v3. Hajizi survives. Psycho's chasing him. Oh, they're looking for the juke. And, oh, what a transform! Oh, they're going to find him anyways. Kenji's still in this. There's not enough damage from the side of Omega, though.
Fight still going on here. Going strong. This brawl is going to go. Kenji finally gets taken out. The ejector onto Psycho. This is finally looking good for Rrq. My goodness, Omega, they've got to be real frustrated about this entire situation.
Yo, just look at the waves. It's already crashing right in.
Oh, this is something that Rrq Hoshi has to watch out for as well. Again, note, they can join fights as long as they want, but if they don't manage their waves, it could end in the blink of an eye. And I think all of these long team fights, it's resulted in, again, more members of Omega coming back, but finally this is third Lord. I can say confidently, it's gonna go definitely to Rrq Hoshi. Oh! Definitely close. I thought there was another Vin situation.
Yeah, it almost could have been in that sort of sense with Heath being so close by. And unfortunately, things are starting to open up for the side of Rrq Hoshi, and Omega Esports had to back away and retreat, not having Hajizi as well as Kenji around. There's so many switch of itemization going on, and we've seen the Rose Gold Meteor being bought there by Hajizi.
Yeah. Kurt's swapping around. That last slot is his juggle slot.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be important that teams know how to juggle their items, especially this late. Oh wait, hold on. This is the pick of a lifetime. Bin is getting chunked back, but this could be the fight that they've been looking for.
Like the final blow by Psycho, trying to dive in and take out the softies from behind. Heath destroyed here by Lemon, and Psycho able to just maintain pressure here, just escort Lord into this inhibitor, and that's going to be Kenji getting blasted down by Lemon. Ladies and gentlemen, carry is back. That's going to be the push on all three inhibitors for Omega Esports. Curtisi taking down Vin. That's going to be a crossbow of Tang. Hajizi destroyed here. It's just a matter of time. They just need to focus down on the base. And ladies and gentlemen, the King of Kings take game number 1 after a long, drawn-out game here in the very last day. Oh, sorry, the last game of day 1 in the playoffs.
34 minutes, 14 seconds on the clock. This has to be the longest game in the playoff runs thus far. And my oh my, what a comeback coming from the King of Kings.
Contra, my friend, that is the longest game of all time.